how real is a 12-game win streak? Because if you look at the board right now, it's not crazy. Brooklyn is next. New York is struggling. And for the first time all season, the path isn't brutal. Now here's the key. Based on the schedule strength model I built using opponent LO, for every single game, the Spurs actually have a slightly easier remaining schedule than Oklahoma City. Not by a lot, but enough. The full season average opponent ELO, Spurs 1,590.5, Thunder 1,600.6. That's about a 10-point difference, tiny margin, but when you're chasing the number 1 seed, tiny margins matter. Because if OKC is missing key players and we handle the games we're supposed to win, this thing can flip fast. Now let's talk about Brooklyn. Looking at their identity, Brooklyn Nets aren't chaotic, they're incomplete. 15 wins, negative net rating, a defensive rating nearly 5 points worse than league average. But here's the interesting part. Offensively, they're not reckless. They play average pace, they move the ball, they shoot a high volume of threes, and they actually rebound well on the offensive glass. But defensively, that's where the structure collapses. Their defensive rating is 114.9. They allow 114 points per game, and over the last 10 games, they're 2-8. They don't generate enough resistance. Their shot profile, they're efficient at the rim over 60% inside 5 feet, but everywhere else below 50. Mid-range, above the break, deep threes, the efficiency drops. So what does that mean? Brooklyn needs rhythm and space to survive. If you pressure them, if you speed them up, if you force them off script, they don't have the defensive backbone to stabilize. Like if you look at the play type data, 2 numbers jump off the screen. First, transition defense. The Nets are literally bottom percentile defending transition. 0 margin for chaos. If this game speeds up, if the Spurs push after misses, after makes, after turnovers, Brooklyn breaks early. Now combine that with pick and roll. Brooklyn ranks at the absolute bottom offensively in pick and roll ball handler efficiency, and they struggle defending it too. That means they can't generate pressure through their guards, and they can't contain it on the other end. That's a structural mismatch. If the Spurs run high pick and roll with pace, force rotations, collapse the paint, spray to shooters, or hit weak side cutters, this game tilts fast. Brooklyn's defensive foundation isn't built to survive speed and pressure. If San Antonio runs, this won't be close. And I'm saying, when you look at their player trend dashboard over the last 5 games, more players are trending down than up. Igor Demon is heavily negative across metrics. Day'Ron Sharpe is trending down. Several rotation players show declining scoring and efficiency. Yes, there are bright spots. EJ Liddell is trending up. Nick Claxton is stable to slightly positive. Michael Porter Jr. is carrying the scoring load at over 20 points per game recently. But here's the problem. The positive momentum isn't concentrated, it's scattered. Their plus-minus leaders aren't their top scorers. Their efficiency spikes don't align with defensive stability. Their assist leaders aren't driving consistent wins. That's developmental volatility. This is a young team with uneven production curves, and when your roster trends aren't synchronized, you don't build rhythm. Now let's go to the Knicks 37-22, plus 5.4 net rating. Offensively, they don't play fast, they play controlled. Average pace, strong ball movement, balanced shot profile, and elite offensive rebounding, nearly 28% on the glass. But here's what separates them. They protect the ball, only 12% turnover rate. That's discipline. Defensively, they're not elite, but they're stable. League average rating, standard scheme, no gambling. And recently, 6-4 in their last 10. Positive scoring margin. defense tightening over the last 5 games. This isn't a team finding itself. This is a team with identity, physical, disciplined, it's glass dominant. And if you don't control possession against them, they will grind you down. This game is about control. The Knicks want structure, half-court precision, second chance points, ball security. So the Spurs' strategy is simple: disrupt the rhythm, first run. New York is elite in transition offense, but their bottom third defending transition, push after makes, push after misses. Don't let them set their half-court shell. Second finish possessions, they're elite on the offensive glass. You cannot give them second shots. One and done defense is mandatory. Third, attack them off the dribble, not in isolation. They defend spot ups well. They're disciplined in scheme, so force rotation, drive and kick, side to side movement, make their weak defensive rebounding show up. And finally, speed up their decision makers. They protect the ball because they're comfortable. Make them uncomfortable. If this becomes a structured, grind it out possession battle, advantage Knicks. If it becomes pace, pressure, and volatility, that's where San Antonio can flip it. Now let's zoom in at the player level, because this is where it gets interesting. At the team level, the Knicks look structured, disciplined, stable. But when you isolate individual momentum over the last 5 games, there's volatility. Start with the heavy minute core. Jalen Brunson is trending negative across multiple metrics. OG Anunoby is even more negative. Miles McBride is down. Mikal Bridges slightly down. Karl Anthony Towns slightly negative overall. These are not role players. This is the backbone of their rotation. So what does that tell us? The Knicks are surviving on system stability, not peak individual form. That's a crack. Now flip the lens. Who's actually trending up? Kevin McCullough Jr., Pacome Dadiet, Jeremy Sohan, Trey Jemison, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. Notice the pattern. Lower usage players, energy guys, bench impact pieces. This is depth momentum, not star momentum. That matters, because if your stars are neutral or declining and your bench is compensating, you are walking a thin margin. Now let's talk Brunson. He's still leading in assists, still around 20 points per game, but the trend direction says something subtle. He's producing, but it's harder. More defensive attention, more contested possessions, less rhythm, and that's where San Antonio can attack. Force him sideways, show early help, make him give it up before he wants to. Don't let him dictate tempo, because here's the real strategic window. New York's depth is rising, their core is not peaking, so this cannot become a bench game. If the Spurs let the Knicks' second unit energy swing the momentum, it tilts toward New York. But if San Antonio pressures the starters early, if they disrupt Brunson's control, if they force OG and Bridges into decision-making mode instead of rhythm shooting, the volatility shows. And when volatility shows, structure starts to wobble. That's the opportunity. But what do you guys think? Can we beat both and go for 12? Let me know in the comments below. Until then,